Hey everybody, it is Kit here. Happy Wednesday and welcome back to the Fractured Wanderer Tales. We are still on vacation with Sally and Jackson, and after last episode, they've got some stuff to talk about. And a good rest of the week to do whatever they want to do, which, yeah. They got to talk about the kiss, and they got to talk about Sally's deal with the Brooks. Of course, how much talking is actually going to be done? That's a great question. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great hump day. And we're halfway through the week, almost to the weekend, which is awesome. So I hope the week has been treating y'all well. And yeah, let's get into it, shall we? The following morning found Sally with a mix of emotions. She fixed herself some eggs and toast, thinking on everything that had occurred, but mainly one thing. She and Jackson, they kissed. He kissed her. She let it happen. And Sally enjoyed it. But what did it mean for the future? Sally wasn't, well, she wasn't herself. She wasn't really Sally. She didn't know who she was. And Jackson was a vampire. She didn't age, currently at least, and he obviously didn't. That's how they were good friends. Friends, not anything else. Jackson didn't know her, and she didn't know him. And so far, she had kept it that way. Until she blurred the lines when she asked for help locating Marin. And now they shared a kiss. What would come of this? Sally found Jackson playing in the sand and quietly joined him after she ate and got ready for the day. Life was suddenly listless again, but filled with uncertainty. She knew where Marin was, now. But where were she and Jackson? Good morning, Sals. Jackson seemed like he always did, but he seemed happier. Maybe it was the sun and turf. Good morning. She was less chipper. The awkwardness had already set in. The two finished the sandcastle surrounded in that horrible silence, which was only broken when they stood. I guess we should talk, Jackson began. What was that last night? You, we, Sally spluttered, worry, uncertainty, desire, and fear all gnawing at her insides. Why, why did you do that? What do you want? Hey, breathe, okay? I'm sorry it kind of came out of nowhere. I don't want anything from you, Souse. Nothing more than I always did, anyway. I just want to be with you, and I like you, okay? That's it. That's it? Yeah. You just kissed me. After this hot, cold, random disappearing, on-off nonsense. Just, that's it? What am I supposed to take from this, Jackson? Hot, cold stuff? I am not following. Jackson, you disappear and reappear in my life, which is fine because you have your own stuff, but our friendship was already tumultuous. And I thought you've been mad at me. Why would I bring you here and help you if I was mad? Because anytime I offer to help you or offer a vein, you get weird and leave. Because I don't want to hurt you, Sally. Jackson was the most sincere Sally had ever heard him. I've watched you for a while, and Caleb and the others have sensed you. You aren't normal. We both know that. But despite it all, I appreciate our friendship. And while I did get close to you initially to learn about you and to see if you were a threat, now you are more important to me. I like you, both as a friend and more. I don't want anything else from you, but an explanation about the Brooks thing would be nice. I promise, Sals. No weird vampire stuff over here. Not when it comes to you. Sally stopped, taking a breath to think. She wasn't expecting that. She wasn't expecting any of this. But truth be told, she did like Jackson too. She enjoyed the kiss and his company. But so where do we go from here? Given what I am and what you are, and our careful lines drawn in the sand? Jackson gave a sheepish grin. Maybe we can draw a box in between our sides and take the rest of the week to just experience this new venture, see what unfolds. No stress, no worries, just us hanging out on a beautiful beach. A week to see what unfolds. To pause everything and just exist here with Jackson. No worries. Of course, it wouldn't be that easy, but Sally could give that a try. She could. Because, well, once upon a time, she thought this friendship would end at the end of a snowy season, and Jackson had offered a branch of spring. It had been rather unexpected, but it had led to all of this. Now, maybe it was time for Sally to take a step closer. I think I can do that. Yeah, let's give this a shot. So the week began, sort of. It was to be a trial, an experiment, a week away from their respective worlds, joining Marin in a way, escaping the mainland and all the responsibilities that came with. Jackson even changed, bringing out different clothes for the event, much to Sally's shock. They sat to play cards. Jackson was fairly good at Sim-Jack and taught her some tricks. She's never been very good at it, that being Sim-Jack, but Sally was a mean Sim-Fisher. Jackson didn't ask to tap her vein, and Sally didn't offer again, still tiptoeing around this whole experiment thing. Everything was just so strange, but Jackson seemed okay with it. How long had he had feelings for her, she wondered. Later they went to a nearby cafe, talking about all sorts of random things, like the time he had found himself in a 50s disco club with very persistent mimes. Sally laughed until she cried at Jackson's antics. It was because of this incident that he hated mimes. Which is fair, they're ever so slightly creepy. Had he always been this considerate and this much of a gentleman? Jackson waited for her when Sally went to the bathroom, keeping an eye out just in case, getting her snacks when she was hungry, and she didn't even get to pay for anything this time, even though she had money. No, you aren't paying me back. Jackson, Sally, I have an income, and that's great. But the answer is no, this was my idea. Unless you will let me make you papers. Then I might reconsider. You stubborn pighead. Their banter was lighthearted, but it felt more flirty now. Would you have me any other way? Jackson smirked, and Sally's heart fluttered even though she rolled her eyes. Had Sally's feelings for him changed overnight? Or had those feelings been there for a while? Things between them were different, but felt the same. It was different, but normal. Confusing, but nice. Afterwards, the two wandered to the beach across the street to bask in the moonlight. Sally's worry hit once again, guilt creeping up because she recognized the person behind them. And she was taking the week off. She shouldn't be, should she? Hey, you good? Jackson asked, a soft, concerned smile on his face. Yeah, It's nothing, Sally lied, brushing off Jackson's concern, but his eyes followed hers, recognition setting a little fire in his pupils. So Jackson stood up, taking Sally's hands. One day this week, we're going to have to talk about that, you know. But not tonight. So don't worry, okay? Or is it not about me? Sally pulled him in for a hug, whispering in Jackson's ear, not about you. I have this feeling like I have to constantly watch them. You know who. Sally couldn't risk Marin's man hearing her talking about him, or Marin, or her family. Did he even know? Sally didn't want to cause anything. Jackson's voice rumbled lowly in her ear. Okay, I gotcha. Well, you technically are watching them. He's here. That's a Tony Moho. He and Marin are engaged, just so you know. Sally's grin widened when the hug was over, her eyes excitedly searching Jackson's. Really? That's amazing. She was very mindful that Tony was making a sandcastle nearby. Yep, sure is. Jackson played along, shaking his head with a grin. So don't worry. Try to relax. I promise. It's hard. Sally let her instincts take over, caressing Jackson's cheek, marveling that she was just doing that. Sally liked it very much. Jackson's skin was so soft, despite being so pale. Pale like death? Because he was a vampire? What was her life right now? Thank you for this vacation, Jay. I mean it for all the help, and now this. Sally didn't know how to put her gratitude into words. Of course, anytime. I will always try and help and be here for yourselves. I mean it. And as surreal as everything felt, Sally believed him. She felt the weight of Jackson's words in her soul, like a little clicking into place. So, you know, maybe this experiment would be a good thing by the end of the week. Or maybe it was just the honeymoon phase. Then Sally's heart dropped into the sand when the man himself came to talk with them. Hey there, I'm a Tony. You two new to the islands? Welcome. Why, oh, why did Tony come and introduce himself? Did they look like they were the kind of people talked to? Could, could Sally even speak to him? Alarm bells were ringing. Why was she always so panicky when she was super close to the brooks? It was like razor blades zinging across her bare skin. Jackson, as if sensing Sally's panic, gave an easy smile and spoke for the both of them, giving Sal's a shy wink when Tony wasn't looking. Yeah, we are. Thanks. We're just here for a few days. A little getaway vacation. You know? Tony grinned knowingly. Two lovebirds on a vacation together. That's adorable. Sulani's great for cultivating love, you know. Sally gulped. Oh, we're not. Has he not popped the question yet? Tony asked. Well, what are you waiting for, man? There's a waterfall nearby that's perfect. I can show you where to go. Jackson's eyes sparkled as Sally's face turned into a tomato. Tony had not just said that. No way. What was Jackson planning? Sally was about to melt. Or combust. She'd find out which in a second. Oh, really? Yeah, I'd love to know where this waterfall is at, actually. Tony was more than happy to tell them, much to Sally's continued, reddened embarrassment. Why, oh why, how had she gotten in this mess? How was she going to get out of this? Yeah, I got you, man. So you take a loading screen to Moi Palam. There's a volcano that gets a bit active about this time of year, so you want to be careful. But there's a waterfall on the bigger island, along with some beautiful dive spots and lots of pristine sand. Tradition has it that you can find your lover a glistening blue shell at the bottom of the sea or in the nearby cave, but you must leave an offering of light quality for the depths. Something natural, of course. We don't want any pollution nearby. My woman found me a beautiful shell, and I found her a conch, and now we're happy in love and expecting. Just saying. If Jackson's eyes sparkled any more, Sally was going to have to do something drastic. Really? Moi Pelham, huh? Yeah, I think we'll have to take some time to go there. It sounds great. And don't worry about us, Tony. We pick up after ourselves. I'll have to see if I can find a good shell. Oh, come on, Pumpkin. Jackson cooed as Sally glared daggers at Tony. It'll be perfect to cultivate our love. If Sally could curse the two men, she would have done so sevenfold. Thankfully, Tony looked and walked away, satisfied his job as Cupid was done. Sally continued to play along, though, and stuck her tongue out at Jackson. Oh, you love bug! I could just scoop you up and suffocate you. Jackson only snickered at her. Very real threat. Then it was into their swimsuits and into the ocean, away from Tony, for a much needed cool down. Cultivate our love seriously, Sally laughed, embarrassment and flirtiness fighting to see what could make her face redder. Jackson chuckled. I thought it might be nauseating enough to make him leave. You were about to implode. I didn't want to have to take you to the hospital. There were so many other ways, you buffoon. She splashed, but gave him a little air kiss at the same time, flirtiness winning the war. You're right, actually. I could have done this. And then there was another kiss. And this time Sally got to enjoy it even more. When they finally broke apart, Sally just had to ask. So, is that going to be a normal thing now? Just us kissing? Jackson grinned. Only if you want it to be. Yeah. Sally smiled back. Yeah, I do. I like. But then a splash was heard nearby, and Sally saw a glimpse of a tail? What is that? Her temples began to pulse. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's get out of the water. Just be careful. He's still around. And to wrap up this interesting date, not a date, outing experiment, and make show for Tony, who is still being a watchful Cupid off camera, the two had a warm embrace. They shared a warm embrace, and Jackson gently laid kisses up and down Sally's neck, leaving her blood racing, both of them hot and bothered, flushed and energized from a rather fun, romantic, embarrassing, but surprising date, not a date, outing experiment. And that is that. Sorry for a bit of a longer episode, but I was kind of looking at it and I was like, you know what? Let's just get to this point, right? This is a good point to get to. And it took a little bit longer, but yeah. So Jackson likes her. They actually low key gameplay wise, right? I For those who kind of know my play style by now, and it kind of started with the Brooks, but I like letting my Sims have some autonomy, and they have been flirting so much. They had mostly full pink bars all by themselves, well before this beach uh, date thing. So if some of those previous pictures looked a little romantic, they probably were. I I didn't do a damn thing, as I recall. Um, yeah, I love them so much. And, like, whenever I'm playing one of their households, mostly I play Sally's, but sometimes I need to play Jackson's, obviously, for story purposes or just something. Um, they whim for each other, because back then it was a whim. These pictures are from 2021. Um, and they would constantly call and like, oh, want to hang out or just show up. She really doesn't show up too much at his house, but he constantly shows up at hers, which also works for the story, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, like I think they just were at like a romance festival thing, like it was some sort of outing, and I was like, well, I don't think I'm gonna use any pictures from this. Whatever, just let them hang out. You know, I kind of wanted them to be friends. I had no real plans per se for them to get together. And the next thing I know, after they took the tea, whoo, boy. So yeah, that actually helped me quite a bit in the whole storyline time. I love getting inspiration from the things that my Sims do for storylines and just things to write and plan for. And these two are no exception. And when I tell you I am absolutely freaking terrified of like I want to go back to the save file, obviously. I have been very much looking forward to it. But when I tell you I am so scared that Love Struck, once I hopefully sort it out to where they're hopefully really attracted to each other, I hope they have really good compatibility. And if they don't, there better damn well be a mod for that because they had amazing compatibility before Love Struck and all of those changes, and they had better have it now. Like, I will be curled up on the floor sobbing if it ruins their relationship. And Hope and Irwin's, and Marin and Tony, and Andy and Lisa because they all have really good relationships. God, I'm so scared. I've seen some simmers who had like people together and stuff. They tried to fix it, and then like boom, the Sims just the two like especially if one summer I knew who went over to Blue Sky when all of that went down. Um oh my god. She had these two Sims that she was really liking them together and stuff, and then she fixed his attraction to her, like made it to where it was like her type and everything, especially looks and stuff, I guess, or that's what they said. But she had a friend that looked pretty much damn near exactly like her. And that sim, the guy cheated on her with her friend. Yeah. And now, like, she kind of winged it. She's worked with the story and stuff, and, like, there's another guy, and, like, it's a lot better of a story and stuff anyway. Like, she made it work. But I immediately, when I saw that, when I read about that and saw her panic, my first thought was literally Sally and Jackson. And then my second thought was Hope and Irwin. Don't get me wrong, Andy and Lisa have a good relationship, but the whims and everything, the whims and the wants, and just the level of autonomy of them finding each other and, doing romantic things is not the same. And I think that's because Andy and Lisa are just really busy and they need to have more of a vacation now. Like, they need to have a romantic getaway. But Zyla is still in the house. And yeah, that's a thing. Plus, also, like, their schedules aren't 100% lined up. Because I think Lisa works the night deal because she's a comedian. Um, yeah, so, but yeah, I'm really scared. So, can we just pray to the gaming god so we can get that to sort? Or does anybody know of a mod or a cheat or something that lets me fix the compatibility? Let me know. But anyways, I have gone on way too long, but I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Um, it's an experiment. Let's see where it goes. And yeah, this is going to be the last of the Sims 4 story stuff from me this week. Next week we're going to be with Brooks of some variety, and I might do a Fracture and Wonder. I don't know what I'm doing next week. I don't know. So it'll be a nice surprise as normal. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day and week. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. And yeah, don't forget, where the water's slow, legacies grow. Bye!